What happened there? What happened there? $150,000 loan. And then at some point they said the monthly payment was $1,316. Okay, and then on 79, you guys did something to found out how many years it was. Did anyone get 79 or has it handy? So it's a 30-year loan. And so just talking about loans and stuff, for houses, you get like basically two options, a 15-year and a 30-year. The vast majority of people take 30-year. 15 would be great, but it's more expensive per month, and that's why people don't do it. But you save a lot of money in the long run. So, if we borrowed $150,000 to buy this house, and we're paying $13, $16, and 26 cents every month, the question is the total paid over the whole 30 years. So how do we go about that? Okay, so we need to know how many months. So 30 times 12 is 360 months. And then what do we do? So what is 360 times 13, 16, 26?
4,737,60.
So what does that number mean?
That is for interest. So then.
No, what is that? That's not for it. All right, well, we'll do the interest here in a second. So you just bought a $150,000 house and you paid what for it? $473,760 for it. That's what that is. So how do you figure out how much interest you paid?
Subtract that from.
Oh yeah, we got somehow. Looks like maybe our numbers are off a little bit.
It's 1360.35.
No, not really. I got 473,853 back here.
I got 473,886. Next thing is probably.
Yeah, I got 886 with whenever I did 35 instead of.
Huh?
I did 35 in my original one. I got 88.
Well, what is it? Is it? Oh, it's 20. Oh, it's 35. I'm sorry. My eyes jumped around. Sorry. I looked at 80 halfway through. Sorry. So yeah, there's 35. So what is it when it's 35? I'm sorry.
473,886.
886. Okay. Sorry. All right. So then, sorry about that. Okay. So then, how much did you pay on interest?
$323,000.
How do you get this?
What you, I subtracted $150,000 from it because that's like the actual price of the house.
So that's the actual price of the house. So out of your out of the 473,000 plus that you guys bought your house for, 323 of it was on interest. Okay, so that's why, it's a lot. 10% is very high at this point, though. And so if you ran these numbers and did 3.5%, you'd see quite a big difference. Okay, but this is why you should come up with a down payment.
If you build your own home, do you still have to pay interest on it like that since you're still going to
Did you have enough money to buy all the material and stuff?
Okay, so
If you had to borrow money, then you'll have to do it. So if you could have did all the work yourself and you could afford all the material, then you wouldn't be paying any interest. But if you're borrowing it, you got to. So so it's a ton of money. And so this was assuming I at least assumed that there was no down payment at all, maybe, which is a big deal. Okay, so if you usually they want you to have 20% so that you can avoid this PMI, I believe is the name. I couldn't think of what it was earlier. But it's an insurance on the fact that you don't have enough money, and so they're still giving you a loan. So then you actually have a more expensive. So not only are you having more that you have to pay off because you only had like 10%, let's say, but they also charge you more for the insurance on top of it. And they charge you that until
you have
until you get to that 20% of your original loan, yeah. So, yeah,
We just have to live, yeah, let's not, like, we come out of high school. Basically,
How do you
just
get
have
this?
money, is really this.
yeah, having money is a nice way to start, that's for sure, yeah. Yeah,
I'm
But-
gonna get that from,
Mr. Randall-
no, they're just telling me, they're
I
telling
mean-
me.
told me I better be-
like, I wanna calculate to see what it would be if.
He was like,
Oh,
I did 3.5%.
You'd have to do a compound, do the compound, yeah. Okay. All right, yeah, well, so, right, so like, real quick on that front, like the whole, like, saying it takes money to make money kind of thing. So like, that's like all the people that have a lot of money, like, it doesn't even make sense for them to work, because like, if you have like 10 million and you got, 10 million in the stock market, then if it's averaging 8% a year, what's 8% of 10 million? Right, calculate it out.
More than 10 million.
No, 8% of 10 million is not more than 10 million.
I have 800,000.
800,000, so like, if you just had 10 million in the stock market, you could get $800,000 a year without doing anything. Right? And then, well, they might, but it takes a long time to get the 10 million. Once you get the 10 million, it's easy, right? Like, it's the getting the 10 million. Well, there's someone else that said that, like, the first million's the hardest million, like, because then after that, you just let, like, percentages take over. That would be it'd be 3.5%, yeah.
What is the number of compound? Would that be 360?
That would be it would probably compound yearly.
But she's not kidding.
It'd probably compound yearly is what I'm assuming. I don't know the answer to your question, though. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's today's stuff. Over on the left board, there are formulas that you need to know. Okay, the change of base formula, over here on the very left in the red, is one that you kind of almost don't really need. Okay, and so let me explain that here real quick. Right, we have on every calculator at this point has two logarithms. It has log base 10, which is just log. They call that the common logarithm. And then the other one is the natural logarithm. And then after that, not all calculators have that. But your alls, these graphing calculators have log base. So then you can just like plug in anything you want. But that wasn't always true. And so then there's this formula. So you do have to memorize it, but this is the way it is. If you start with a log of any base to some power, you can change it to any other base that you want. That's the m up there. You get to choose what log you would use. And then it's the x over the b. And so it's not hard to remember, or at least the way I did it was, if you look at the left-hand side, the x is above the b, and so then when you get to the fraction, the x is still above the b. Okay, so that's just what it is. And so m can be anything that you want. Now, if you got a scientific calculator and you're trying to evaluate something, then you're going to pick log base 10 or natural log, because that's the only things that you can manipulate. Does that make sense to everybody? And so it's a real easy thing to check. Yeah, it must have been. So it's easy to check. So if I say log of 7, if you type that into your calculator, then we can say, well, we can do the natural log of 7 divided by the natural log of 10. And those two things should give you the same thing on your calculator. Okay? But it works no matter what. So for instance, I'm looking at page 325 here. And it sounds like a whole bunch of problems. I got 1 to 59 odd. But you're going to see like these are pretty quick to do. I mean, it's only a couple seconds to get through each problem. So, like number 4 from that section, they're saying log base 4 of 10, and they say use the common logarithm here. And all they want you to do is use the change of base. So log of 10 over log of 4. And that's what you're doing on those. Is that okay? And those two things are equivalent. Is that okay?
I'm not sure if I did that right. I just did number of compound, which is n. So
I'd have to
just
look.
did
Let me
12.
look at it here a little bit.
If I got it right, then 20, like,
I was like, I should just.
50,000.
So I didn't have my math notebook. so-
50,000, yeah, that's
And
pretty
I
good.
was out of my government notebook, cause I'm on Facebook with government.
All right, listen. Next section here says rewrite the logarithm as a multiple of natural logarithms. So then that's a 10. So what is this one? What do they want to do natural logs now? Natural log of 10.
That's my middle name. What if it was spelled like that?
Then your parents would be awesome math people.
No, they're definitely,
Vowels, so it cannot be.
But it's not written that way anyway. So.
What? What are we talking about?
If Randy's middle name was Lynn, spelled L-N.
do they let you like name your child anything?
Yeah, they let you. Yeah, they ask you. They sit there at the worst time when you're like already all messed up because like you just watch a baby pop out, and they're like, "What do you?" So like, "Here, fill this out," and you got to fill it out. And you're like, "Man, this is a big deal," because it's like what they got until like they're old enough to change their name.
There's a sophomore that it's a girl that doesn't have a middle name because her mom does not have a middle name, and so on the birth certificate, mom just didn't have a middle name. So we went to fly last year, and it was like a pain in the butt because she did not have a middle name.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so listen. Next section, 11 to 18 there. It says evaluate logarithms using change of base. I can't force you to use the change of base formula, okay? Because all your all's calculators, if they're new, can just do it by doing that log base button. And then there's a whole IXL that just is like evaluate it using change of base. So, I mean, do what you need to do, but the change of base is going to be something in the future that you may need, okay? So I'm not going to do any of those. So then the next thing is these properties over here in the green. All right, the whole point is that we can expand this. Oh, and here's the thing. This is kind of like going from both forms. When do you use these properties over here? It's like a trick question. When you need them. Okay? So you just got to know that that's an option, and sometimes it makes sense to go to one side of it, and sometimes it makes sense to go to the other side. So you got to have this kind of stuck in your back pocket when you need it, and know that you can do it. So we're going to expand this one out all the way. So which product or which property are we using? Product property. So then how can I rewrite this one?
Well, I mean, like, there's one, and then X, no, that doesn't help. Never mind. I can do X plus Y plus Z, but that doesn't do anything to help.
Plus what?
0 equals x1.
LN
plus LNY plus LN.
Just say Lynn, it's so much easier.
Or call it by its real name, natural log. That's what I call you, Ashley, and stuff like that. Like I call you Ashley. So what? It's fine. Yeah, I know, but like just call it whatever you want then. Call it Lynn or Ellen or whatever.
Every time you say Lynn, I feel like you're talking to me, but I've never gone by that, so I don't know why.
Plus, a lot of people have.
Oh my god.
All right, do we want to do another one? Let's do.
That's literally the answer?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing.
Wait, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Easy.
All right, I'm gonna do 38 also then. I don't want to take all your all's fun away.
Oh, you should take it away.
It's too late.
Oh, that's okay.
If I took it away, then there'd be people complaining that I took it away.
Mainly me.
Blame it on Adrian.
Come on, Adrian.
Oh, sorry.
All right. This one's this is about as good as it gets. So let's do one thing at a time. Let's just write out the numerator in two different logarithms. So we're just doing the numerator right now. So it'd be log base b of what? The square root of x.
Log base B. No.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we'll do one step at a time. Yeah. So okay. So
Plus 4 log base B.
okay, that's fine. But I've already read. So let's just do it one thing at a time. Let's just do that right now. Okay. And then we can do what you're saying there.
Minus Z.
Okay. So don't forget the log base b. And so in the long run, you guys can do probably these in one step, but let's, I just want to write it all out. So what about, so you already said this one, so this is plus 4 log b of y, right? That's the power property over there.
One half log b of x.
And the same thing with this. What about the first one?
1/2 log b of x.
Yeah, so if you remember, that's just a 1/2, so then 1/2 log b of x. And that's good, that's all you can go. You can't go further than that.
Are there gonna be subtractions in between on each one, or no?
So anytime you guys put a subtraction, you're saying it's in the denominator.
Oh,
We wouldn't need to
so for
put
quotient property, even though it's a subtraction? Oh, I understand.
we wouldn't need to put a parentheses in there because it's just the order of operations.
So,
Like if we were doing this in the calculator.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Oh,
Was there another question?
so there's a, okay, never mind.
All right, so then, so again, by the time you guys do these, you'll get them. It's no big deal. And you probably do them like in one step, but just write them out right now. I usually, from the direction we just went, I do multiplying and dividing first and then exponents. So then the other direction, it'd be exponents first and then write it out. So 41 to 60, we can do a couple of those. So pick a couple to do. 60, okay, can we start with one before that? We can do maybe 3. If we're going to do 60, we can do maybe 3 of them. So pick something from the 41 to 51 there.
48.
48.
I've been thinking about
Okay, it's a -2 there. Put that right there. Okay, so then, what do you want to do? So which properties do we have to apply? Property or properties? What is it? So do we need, or can we apply the quotient property to this one?
Or is it no because it doesn't have a long base in front of it?
Right, yeah, so that's all in just that one logarithm. So the quotient property does not get applied here.
Power property.
Yeah, so okay, so then what, it's log base 7. Yeah, and that's all really you can do in this direction.
Oh, it's making that too complicated.
That's okay. All right, we'll do one more and 60. You pick one of the big ones there if you want.
21.
54.
This is why I hate you, Brian. Your son's really bright. Brian, shut up.
Why are you being so mean to Brian?
He said, "You're so bright, your mom must call you the sun." Call you son. Maybe you just want to cry. I thought it was pretty funny. It was annoying.
Are they talking again? I usually shut things out at this point. All right, what do you guys want to do here?
On the second part, I'm going to the second power, because it's the quotient property.
Which one? Where? I didn't hear what you said.
Like where it's -2,
All right, so we can change this to what?
Lindsay, -5 to the second power.
Okay, yep, totally do that. That's definitely something. What about, can we do anything with the first part there? Yeah, so I'm gonna do it, you could do it in a lot of different ways, but I'm gonna stick inside the brackets first. So then, oops, oh boy, no. No, yeah, so what is it?
Z times Z plus 5.
Yeah, thank you.
But it's a plus in between, so when you just use the addition, or am I just not right? What, that would be the correct.
Is that a minus sign?
This is minus over here, yeah.
Okay.
Where?
That's Z plus 5.
That's Z plus 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought that was Z minus 1.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why I went.
Oh, you put 4 in the front.
So
Just
before we go,
54 is the next one.
Yeah, but be careful, cause what's getting raised to the fourth? Everything, so I'm gonna write it like this first. That's what's going on there. But that's kinda sloppy looking, right? So then, it's probably better if it was z to the fourth, z plus 5 to the fourth. Does that make sense? So then, yeah, so then the final thing would be what?
Z to the 4th times Z plus 5 to the 4th over Z minus 5.
It's just 1/2 ln a minus 1.
Squared. Sorry. I was looking at the one above it. Is that okay? All right, so real quick, do we need to do 60 or you just want me to stop talking? All right, go for it.